Welcome to Voices from the Bench, a dental laboratory podcast. Send us an email at info@voicesfromthebench.com or look for us on Facebook at Voices from the Bench. Greetings and welcome to Voices from the Bench. We are at episode number 73. My name is Elvis.
My name is Barbara. Welcome.
So you come around here very often?
Yeah. Yes, I do.
Well, I appreciate you joining us. We barely got together because every time we tried, I kept getting calls from doctors. I tell you, it's been one of those days where they all want to talk to me.
It's a Friday. I'm surprised they're not all home and enjoying their weekend.
I wish I was.
So we are continuing our conversation. We have Bernie Jaroslow, CDT, and Al Fillastre, CDT, talking about the upcoming 8th Annual WhipMix Digital Forum, which is on October 4th and 5th in Louisville, Kentucky. Al talks about what he's going to speak on, and even though it's a digital forum, all of the same principles technicians use for analog is still needed in digital. Bernie talks about some of the other great presenters and their topics that will be there. Even though this will be Elvis's first time at the digital forum, from the sound of things, it's going to be bigger and better than all of the years before, which I did look it up and it looks amazing. Speakers are amazing. I am going to be celebrating my birthday in Sonoma, California, or I would be there with you. I wish you good luck, Elvis, and hopefully it's a great meeting.
It's your 30th birthday party, correct?
Yes, absolutely. Forever.
Forever.
Ever and ever and ever. I'm going to maintain this age until I die. Actually, I wouldn't mind being 40 or 50. I just don't want to get any older than that.
It's not how you look, it's how you feel. How do you feel?
I feel really good, especially
Good.
in training for the triathlon, which is pretty much a full-time endeavor nowadays. So I'm ready. Got a week to go.
Are you like super ripped right now?
More so than normal. Yeah, because I'm swimming. So my arms are definitely more toned, and my biking for my other areas is toning up too. So yes, I am.
Are you on the same bike you were on last year?
So far, I've been working out in a gym and just doing 15 to 16 miles. But yes, it's going to be the same bike.
15 to 16 miles on a stationary bike?
Yep. It's really fun.
Oh, my boring.
So exciting. Yeah. Fantastic. Everything that I do for the foundation and our industry, it's amazing. I wouldn't do it if I didn't love it, let me tell you.
You need some motivation. You'll never catch up to that wall in front of you.
Nope. I listen to some good music and just go. It's all right.
You don't listen to the podcast? You don't listen to yourself talk?
On the bike? God, no.
Yeah. What a great way to pass time.
And let's continue with Bernie and Al. Digital Dental's FDA-approved custom abutment solution is a great way to bring custom abutment milling in-house, allowing your lab to control turnaround times and dramatically reduce your costs versus outsourcing. With systems compatible with Nobel, Straumann, BioHorizon, Hyosin, Astratech, Zimmer, Biomet, and more, you can manufacture a wide range of custom abutments for under $40 per unit in under 30 minutes, which is pretty darn fast, I gotta say. Digital Dental's complete solution features a custom milling machine, an extensive selection of abutment blanks, and a turnkey FDA compliance program, which we all know how important that is. Go to www.digitaldental.com/abutment for more information and see how easy it is to get started milling the FDA-approved custom abutments in-house.
Voices from the Bench. The interview.
A number of vendors, which is the first time we've done that. We brought in a bunch of companies as exhibitors, and that helps to make it even a better program. So, again, while it's not we're not doing this to make a profit center, but we want to make sure we can do it to the fullest and make sure everybody gets the best experience out of it. And I think we put together a pretty good program. If you'd like, I can tell you some of the speakers and some of their topics.
Absolutely.
Okay.
You got some big names at this thing.
Yeah,
It's some
yeah, we've got
really
some
cool
really,
people.
really
Yeah.
good ones. Well, we've got Ed McLaren, Dr. McLaren, who I've known since I started at Vita. Actually, he was a speaker for Vita, and since I lived in California, not very far from UCLA, we would get together often for various things, and he spoke for me quite often. So I called up Ed, and
What is he speaking on?
yeah, actually, he's doing an interesting thing. I told him I wanted to do it on the newer materials because, as everybody knows, milling materials, which is sort of, he's in the biomaterials department, has been at several universities, including University of Alabama and UCLA, and he's he's a guy who knows material science. He, yeah, he's really good. And for those of you who may not know who Ed McLaren is, I think he's one of the finest ceramists we have in this country, maybe in the top group around the world. He's just a fantastic ceramist, and he's also a prosthodontist, and he has taught postgraduate courses in dental schools for technicians for years. He's had programs, again, in those universities and other places where he's taught very advanced techniques.
Yeah, I actually know him very well. I know of him. I know of his reputation. So he's speaking on materials, did you say?
He is. He's speaking on the new zirconia materials and some that we're not even aware of yet.
All right.
He's going to take us into the near future, which is
Nice.
kind of exciting. It's always good to know what's around and how they should be used and how they can be used. But there are also materials that are in development now that will be here in the not too distant future. So it's always kind of good to get a little look into, the looking glass, and he's going to be doing that for us. He's now CEO of his company called Art Oral America, and he lives in Utah now, Park City.
Very familiar with him. So what's Al speaking on?
Al, why don't you tell him what you're speaking on?
Gee, Bernie, I'm really not sure.
Yeah,
you just point me and tell me what you want to know about, and I'll tell you.
right.
I mean, hey, kind of like if I want your opinion, I'll give it to you, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Well,
no, I'm actually talking about occlusion, and one of the things that really stuck out to me when I first got involved with the digital, and that was a direct result of the first digital forum. I went up there because I was investigating. You couldn't help but, 6 or 7 years ago, so I guess it was 8 years ago now, right?
yes.
It was so new. It was such a new frontier, and it seemed like at that time, just the big labs, right, could afford to invest like in lava back in the day, and that was certainly something beyond what I even cared about because I really wasn't that type of production lab. I was a smaller, right, low production, high end type lab working with that smaller segment of the market that really cares about that kind of work, and that evolved because of my dad, because he was a premier dentist. He lectured around the world. He was all about quality. I was a Dawson Pankey guy. That's how I was raised in the industry, and so I really didn't see the digital could do what I needed it to do early on, but that changed really quick. And after that first digital forum, I realized that this is a tool that could actually make us do better, more accurate, and it's true. It's a tool, and it allows you to see and do and you can do 2D cross section and look at layer thicknesses, and you can do a lot of things, but there's also a huge problem with knowledge and training and learning. It's really hard, and everybody will agree with that. It's really difficult to find good information, good courses, good solid information on proper design and how to utilize these softwares and do the things you want, particularly in the arena of occlusion. Okay. And I started looking out there at the virtual articulator because I was really interested, especially anterior guidance and as these new materials come up, let's take zirconia, for example, it becomes even more critical that we know how to use these tools to create, crown and bridge that when it goes to the bench, you see the same thing there that you saw on the screen. And that's very difficult, okay, to do. It's a huge battle in labs between designers and grinders because the designers, work really hard to get perfect, nice crowns with good occlusion, and they go to the bench and they grind the crap out of them. Why? What's going on here? And how do we start to dig into this and understand what's going on? And so that became sort of my main goal over the last couple of years, is to really dig in and find out how to use these tools properly to our advantage. My goal being to be able to produce digital crowns, mill them, center them, and take them to the bench and not have to touch them. Okay, so
So give me a little tidbit. So what have you found?
You got to come to the course. No, come to the course. I mean, it's called Center Glaze and Go is what this is called, but it really is based on occlusion, and
I know. Yeah. So I want to know.
But understanding occlusion, understanding function, understanding occlusal compass, understanding all those things, and then how to apply that and use the tools to improve what you're putting out from the digital software and giving to the people at the bench. And with the goal being, as you know, if we can avoid grinding on zirconia, that's what you want.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, right.
Yeah.
It's not only time consuming, it damages it. There's all kinds of reasons why we don't want to be doing that at the bench. Right. And so it's all kind of a packaged thing that all these pieces together, you really can accomplish that.
I have to tell you, I've seen the program several times, and of course it continually evolves, but your mouth drops when you watch this. Al is truly about one of the most knowledgeable people in the world of occlusion, and how he marries that with digital dentistry it's stunning. It really is. It's a fantastic program. People will love that.
Well, I would be totally into that. I noticed how he didn't answer my question, so
yeah.
I'm going to have to cancel my trip to Sonoma for my 50th birthday party so that I can make you guys a summit, so I can learn that, because I'm totally digging it. Exactly. So thanks, Al.
We'll be doing. We'll be also visiting on webinars as well. So we get the information out there, because really, I'm not aware of anybody else that's really doing this. And as you know, it's what I hear all the time. Man, where can we get good information? Where can I get an advanced course? Where can I learn how to design? Where can I learn, morphology, occlusion, function, form, emergence, and all that stuff is passing by the wayside. I mean, it just drives me crazy when I look that on one respect, we're moving at light speed, technically, okay, in this business, but we're moving backwards at light speed in terms of applying the principles to our work that we've learned over the last 30 years of what's required, to make properly functioning and long-term restorations. And now it's like, I just cut it a millimeter out of occlusion, it'll be fine. I'm like, what?
So Al, what you're telling me is occlusion is important? Is that what I'm getting from all this?
Aside from all popular thinking these days, it actually is. You know what? And the oral environment hasn't changed in the last 10 years. It still is the same place it always was. Yet somehow we think a lot of the stuff that we spent our careers learning is no longer important. What's that all about, right?
You got to get back to the basics. It's still there.
You really do. But the basics are getting forgotten. I mean, old timers like me, and I won't include you, Barbara, because you're just a kid, but hey, I mean, look, I just applied for Social Security. I'm like, what? What? I'm on Medicare and Social Security now. It's like, damn it, when did that happen? Right. So, and it scares me a little when I walk by the mirror and see myself. Who's that guy? Who's that old guy in the mirror? Right. Hey, because in my head, I'm still 28 and virile, And
sounds like you got the energy of a 28-year-old.
It ain't true.
All right, Bernie.
All right.
Bernie, let's get back. Who else is going to be at this?
Well, there's someone that you might be familiar with. Bennett Napier is going to be opening our program, talking about, his program is entitled "The Times They Are A-Changin'," because boy, are they ever. And as Al said, at light speed. So Bennett is going to be presenting an overview of where we've been, where we are, and where we're going within the digital world. So he's also going to be doing kind of a little look into the future. Then,
how does Bennett give a digital future seminar?
Well,
explain that to me.
We'll have to see. He's spoken for us before in past digital forums, and he's talked about the industry and given factual stuff.
Yeah. Okay, I gotcha. That makes sense to me now.
He's a trends kind of guy, state of the industry
Yeah, that
trends,
makes
what's
sense.
going
Thank you.
on, all that
Yeah,
stuff,
yeah,
right? FDA
he's
stuff,
great.
everything, right? He's really an amazing resource of information.
And also past guest of the podcast.
Yeah.
Next.
Oh, really?
Okay, sure. And also, I think probably we all agree that one of the most up and coming and exciting parts of digital dentistry is removables. And we know digital dentures I think that's probably the most talked about segment of dental technology today. And we've got several people talking about different parts of digital dentures. Mark Williamson, for instance, who is Mark, I think he's been on he's been on the
Great
podcast
guy.
as well.
Absolutely.
Mark is the senior technical manager of Ottawa Dental Lab.
Yep.
So and he does a lot of courses, and he's spoken for us before a few times. In fact, he's doing a digital denture course for us next week here.
Awesome.
And
Love it.
so what he's going to do is he's going to team up with one of our digital technical experts, and they're going to be basically going through the design all the way through the actual printing of a denture during the program. So they're going to take it step by step and show how they recommend it be done. And then we have a guy named Sevan Pelurian. I don't know if you're familiar with him. I just met him myself in California at the last LMT Lab Day, and he's a director of CAD/CAM for Pacific Dental in California, of course.
Sure. Heard of them.
And he's going to be taking us on a little journey through new 3Shape software. His program is called Just the Tips, and basically it's going to be, I think, what he would consider behind the scenes or tips and tricks in using the software that maybe aren't so obvious to everybody. So he'll be taking us through that. We have Bart Hyde, who owns a lab in Nevada. He's doing a program with Dr. Brandon Stapleton, who is a dentist, a prosthodontist in Lexington, Kentucky. So he's not too far from here. And they're doing a program together that is an interesting one because they both live at different parts of the country, and they work very, very well together. So they have a program called Cross-Country Collaboration, How Modern Technology Brings the Lab into Clinical Practice.
Oh, nice.
So they're going to see how they can marry, the dentist to the dentist techniques to the laboratory techniques, all doing it from far, big distances. And I've seen their program. They've done it before at a program that we co-sponsored in California, and it was terrific. We had an amazing response from that. So they're going to be speaking. We have Mike Webb, who's the president of Sim System. He'll be talking about CAM software. We have Reed Nunnally and Nick Winlow, who both are Reed.
I know them
from DLB. Yeah, Nick is his business development guy, and they're going to be doing a program that covers aligners and how clear aligners can grow your business, basically.
Wow.
That's another hot topic.
It is actually. It's a very hot topic.
It is. And they have quite a business of aligners, so they're going to share some of their secrets with us, which is good. We have Gary Morgan.
Oh, Gary Morgan. Yep, I know him. SafeLink.
Yeah, from SafeLink. We need to have our regulatory.
Oh, yeah.
He has to be at every convention and event. I think it's law now that he has to be at every one.
It is the law, and we don't want to break the law. So we've got Gary. He'll be doing FDA compliance program. What does it look like today, and what do you have to be aware of? What do you have to be worried about? That kind of thing.
Nice.
Yeah, and then we have.
Is this a 2-day event?
It is. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
it's
okay, that's what I thought.
the 4th and 5th, a Friday and a Saturday, 2 full days. And we've got a lot of extraneous things happening with it, but it's basically all, in this one hotel. We have Dr. Stapleton also has stepped up and has volunteered to take us through 3Shape Implant Studio, the newest version of that, because he does a lot of implant cases, and that's obviously another area that that's of interest to most of us, most people.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And yeah, so on. So we've invited we have a bunch of exhibitors going to be with us. NOAC, Three Shade, Silcox, GC, Smileline, PTC, a whole bunch of them and they're going to be sharing a little bit about their companies with the attendees. We planned for about 160 or so, just given the size of the room that we have and so on. And I will tell you, we're closing in.
Really?
So if this program is of interest to anybody out there, I would really highly recommend that you get in touch with our people here, and I'll tell you how to do that as quickly as possible. And I'm not saying that just to get people to sign up. I'm telling you, we're getting very close, and we're going to have to cut it off. But it's going to be a great event, and I'd love to have anybody who wants to learn and to network. This is the place to be. So,
well, it sounds truly exciting.
Can I tell them how to register?
Yeah, absolutely, please.
Yeah.
Okay.
Go for it.
I can give you a telephone number and an email address. There's a gal who's handling the registration process here. Her name is Sharon Britt, Britt. The 800 number that you can call to register or to get more information is 800-626-5651, and her extension is 1270. And her email is simple, sbritt, so that's SBRITT, @witmix.com. And she'll be able to tell you more about the program and the hotel and all the stuff that we're going to be doing. Of course, it includes, and by the way, the entire program, including all the lunches and a full dinner, a cocktail reception, and all the stuff that we got planned, fun stuff, is only $299. So we decided to make it really affordable.
Yeah, that's a great price.
Great price.
Yep.
It is, and very doable. So
that's a killer price.
So we'd love to have. I know we're going to fill it, and that's going to happen very soon. But we'd like to make sure we have the people who really want to be in attendance. You have given the opportunity to do that now. So I appreciate this opportunity to be a part of the podcast, so we can get the word out there. And thank you guys for that.
I gotta tell you, I mean, Bernie acts really humble about this. Bernie is amazing, as far as the marketing, putting this together. He's tireless worker. I mean, every year, this is the 8th year, it has gotten better every year. And like I said before, one of the biggest complaints I hear in the digital is lack of resource, lack of knowledge, lack of courses, lack of, where do I find more information? And the truth is, resellers that sell us our equipment, if they took the same one-day course they're going to give me, and nobody seems to know a lot, and you're kind of on your own out there. And it can be very frustrating and really scary. And this forum has evolved over the years to where I think it's the single greatest digital resource going in our country today. Okay. It's nothing but digital for 2 full days of the topics that you want to hear about and the things you want to learn. And it's a great clearinghouse for conversations, for interacting with people that have your same problems and have found their solutions, a great exchange of knowledge and information. I mean, it's awesome. And really, it's the caliber that it is because of what Bernie has done to put it together, bring the people together, and grow it every single year. Without fail. It's plus you get a tour of Witmix, which is really cool. If you've never seen their facility, it's crazy neat because they're a manufacturer, and so they manufacture zirconias and waxes and gypsums, and they have all the equipment, and it's really very packed experience.
Thank you for the kind words, Al. Only my mother talks about me like that, but I appreciate your.
And I'm a little embarrassed, but that's okay.
Now,
you guys are cool.
Al, does your mother talk to you about that?
Not anymore.
So Elvis, are you going to be there? Are you planning on going?
Oh, absolutely. I'm going to be there with the booth set up, recording. Hopefully some of these great presenters, but also the attendees to find out all about their digital experience. Why are they there? Why are they looking to expand what they're already doing? Maybe we could run into some people that are looking to get into digital, and we're finding out why they are going to embark on this expensive but exciting journey. I mean, there's so many opportunities for great interviews. I'm not going to turn it down, even though you're too busy to do it.
Well, now I'm really jealous. I'm super jealous after listening to this. So.
But you know what's crazy? You know what's crazy, Elvis? You said this expensive journey, and it is when you just look at the bottom line, of the invoice when you're gonna jump into this. You go, oh my God, and it's sticker shock, and you think, how can I do this, especially a small lab environment like me? And, so when it came time for me to do that, I mean, those resources were really not in my laboratory just to plunk down, $70,000, right? Or 80 grand like that. But I realized I've got to get into this. And so what I did was I cashed in some of my investments and I loaned my company, I basically financed it personally. Okay. And, did the thing with my accountant and made a little contract and charged myself a little interest and did that legally. But, and it was like 73 grand and change, I think, when I jumped into this. And I had myself paid back with extra to spare in under a year.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
Awesome. It's a great story.
No, our efficiency went up so fast. I mean, we found ourselves within a month producing in 3 days, which before had taken us a week.
Wow.
And all of a sudden, hey, what a cool problem to have. Mm-hmm. Okay. So what do you do with that 2 days? Do you fill it with more production? Okay. And seek out more, or do you allow yourself to kind of just drift back a little, not be under so much pressure and make a little more pleasant environment? We sort of split the difference. Okay. We do, we actually were able to drop our pace back, the stress back a little bit, yet maintain our profitability. And it's been the greatest thing we ever did. And all those fears I had about making ends meet never materialized, and it's so true that, worrying works. I know, because all the things I worry about never happen.
Right.
Yeah. Like they say, I remember hearing a while ago, someone asked, you don't think you can afford to get into digital?
Sure.
You can afford not to get into digital.
Absolutely.
Yep. I remember hearing that as well, Elvis. Well said.
Yep. Very true.
Well, this is great.
Yeah.
When this thing airs, even if you're sold out by the time this gets aired, you know what? That's just going to show people what they're going to miss, and we're gonna promote it for the year after, so people can just get on board a little bit easier.
And maybe Bart can join us next year.
I would love to. I'm so there.
Nah, you wouldn't regret it. You'd love it.
I know I would.
We will make sure that we have links up on the show notes so anybody can register and read more about it and find out more about the speakers. It will all be at their fingertips when this thing goes out.
Same with witness.com. We have all the stuff up on our website.
Absolutely. I mean, I don't think there's any lab in this country that doesn't have something with the Whitmix logo on it. I mean, you guys have been, I mean, what is it? You're celebrating your 75th year, right?
No,
100.
We're celebrating our
100th.
This is
101 this year.
100 and what?
Actually, 2019, this year is our 100th year. We started in 1919.
Fantastic.
And of course, we'll be at each of the shows we go to, meetings, we have some events that are connected in some way that help celebrate the anniversary. And then we're going to do that at the forum as well. We're going to celebrate it by a number of fun things.
Cool.
Bourbon is usually involved, right?
Well, it sure is.
This is Kentucky. Are you kidding? No. Bourbon comes out of the spigots in the hotels.
This should be a real interesting forum.
That didn't come out of my mouth, just saying. But bourbon is always a good thing.
Just saying.
Yeah, it didn't come out of her mouth, but I guarantee if she goes, she'll get in a hotel room and go turn on the spigot right away, right?
Oh, yeah.
See if it's true.
I'm putting that up. I'm a changed dental technician, you see.
Oh.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
This is the new barb. We don't know if we like it yet.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, again,
thanks again for the opportunity. I'm so glad you suggested this. It's a great thing. Appreciate it.
Yeah, and I appreciate you guys not only inviting us, but coming on to talk about it, telling your story. Bernie, I've met you before. I'm looking forward to seeing you again. Al, never met you. I'm looking forward to meeting you. If you want to sit down with me during the digital forum, we can record some more. I'd be happy to have you on again.
No, I tell you, it's like I feel like I kind of know everybody. Come on, I've been doing this since dirt was invented, right? I mean, forever, and yet we've never met, which is kind of surprising. So I would love that. That'd be great.
Absolutely. So we'll see you guys October 4th and 5th. I always mispronounce it. Louisville. Did I do it right?
Louisville.
No, it's Louisville.
Yeah.
Louisville.
You can't say Louis.
Louisville. VUL, Louisville.
That's
Kentucky.
incorrectly. God love you, Elvis. Thanks for being
Well, know your strengths and know your faults.
Just make sure by the time you leave that meeting, you pronounce that correctly, or they're going to hang you.
Yeah, practice. Okay, Elvis, here it goes. You ready?
Louisville.
Louisville.
No ill. Louisville. VUL. Louisville.
That's my partner. See what I have to deal with, Joe? I just talk a little fireball. He struggles with names, but we love him.
I'll help you, Elvis. It's LEWVUL.
Louisville.
Louisville. You know what? I give up.
Like a late night podcast.
Here we are in Kentucky. See, I can do this. Well, thanks again, guys. That was great.
Yep. We appreciate you.
Take care.
Talk to you later.
Bye-bye.
That was fun. Thanks.
A huge thanks to Bernie and Al for coming on the podcast and telling us all about this great event. Remember, October 4th and 5th in Louisville, Kentucky. Yes?
Louisville.
God! Remember, October 4th and 5th in Louisville, Kentucky.
Yes.
God,
That's hilarious.
bless it. All the links to see the agenda, the speakers, and to register on this episode's show notes. I just talked with Bernie just about an hour ago, and he informed us that there are only a few spots left. But he wanted me to tell everyone that you should go ahead and get in touch with Whitmix. They do have a waiting list that will fill up after the program is full, and they say they always have some cancellations. So make sure you get in touch with Whitmix and register for this great event. And remember, one half of Voices from the Bench will be there to record the speakers and the attendees. So come find me and sit down, and we can talk about your digital adventures in your lab.
It looks like Whitmix has a free upcoming live webinar with Al on August 27th called the Digital Diagnostics with 3Shape, which I bet you is a really, really good webinar. The cornerstone to way more than just digital wax-ups. Again, there's a link on our show to register. It's free and you can watch from the comfort of your own lab, and you can't beat free education.
Free is my favorite word.
Free.
Okay, this is the last week that Barb and I will be talking about and asking for donations for the Race for the Future. I know we talk about it a lot, and I'm sure everybody is sick of hearing about it. But that's because the big race is next weekend.
Yay.
A bunch of crazy dental laboratory people will brave the waters, the roads, and the paths to finish a triathlon and raise money for the Foundation of Dental Laboratory Technology. Head over to this episode show notes for yet another link and instructions on how you can donate to this great cause. Remember to sponsor either Barbara Wojin or Team Voices from the Bench. Now, on later episodes, we will talk about the outcome of the race and talk about how much Team Voices from the Bench beat Barbara by many, 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 many minutes.
Mm-hmm. 3 guys against 1 Barbara. I imagine how that's going to turn out.
Barbara's probably going to kick our beep.
I bet you I'm not faster on the run than you or the swim, so I'm not sure it's even a competition, but you know what? I'm game.
We'll see how we all feel.
Yep.
I suggest you get the other 2 guys extremely drunk the night before.
No, I'm not drinking the night before. I'm in it to win it. There's no alcohol involved.
Many thanks to the platinum level sponsors of this event. Argon, Aspen Dental, Inside Dental Technology, LMT, the NADL, Noack Dental Supplies, Preet Corporation, and Zahn.
Thank you.
Not only have a lot of you been on the podcast, but you're great supporters of the industry, and we thank you for supporting the Race for the Future. Don't forget to go and donate, and we won't ask you again until next year.
Yeah.
We'd like to thank again Digital Dental for sponsoring the podcast. Long before we partnered up with them, we interviewed them to learn more about what they do and why they do it. Join us next week for part 1 of learning all about digital dental. Thanks for your support.
Thank you.
All right, everybody, that's all we got. We will see you next week if we don't drown in Lake Michigan. Have a good one.
If Barbara doesn't drown in Lake Michigan, you're running. Have a good one.
If I don't get hit by a car. Bye.
See ya.
Wow, we talked too long.